The following is a slightly historical series on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era of China's history. Because this is based off of a video game, and myself playing it, there will be a lot of incorrect information that we will correct using the help of Wikipedia. For those of you who want to learn more about Dynasty Warriors, or the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era, I suggest reading the book. Please enjoy the following presentation. We are back, and this time we are going back to Wu, and we are going to be playing as Lu Xun, a young man filled with talent and potential. He was even praised by Lu Meng. Polite and energetic, he encourages all of those around him. Major twink energy. I mean, just look at this boy. Bless you. He didn't actually join Wu until around the year 200 when he was 20 years old. And his first couple of missions were just eliminating bandits within the area that Wu controlled, but we'll see if they get into that themselves.
I am Lu Xun. Although I am still young, I shall give my best and continually strive to better myself for the glory of the Wu Kingdom.
What is this music?
The other day, in the showdown with Yuan Shao, I said that we should not overly involve ourselves and instead focus on controlling the South. My lord agreed with me, and we set out on a campaign to invade the South. If we want to rule all three divisions of this land, we must first suppress these foreign enemies and absorb them into our own forces. Let us show the land the extent of our power.
Since our victory at Chibi, the land has divided into three powerful kingdoms. We will need to secure the southern lands if we want to survive in this dangerous...
Yeah, so this entire campaign is going to be taking place after the Battle of Chibi, after the Battle of Red Cliff, because, again, Lu Xun, young kid when that happened, so now that he's in the army, he's under Sun Quan, and we're going to see where it goes from here.
The southern leader, Meng, treats his army as one big family. They are therefore fiercely unified. We will have to prepare for a hard fight. Lu Xun, your plan for subjugating the South has been highly praised by Lu Meng. Everyone, I expect you to fight to the best of your abilities. Now let's go.
I mentioned Meng Huo here. Doesn't sound right. Let me see. This first battle may be complete fabrication to replace the fact that this was, again, early in his career, he was supposed to be, repelling bandits and making sure bandits don't rise up in these southern parts of the land, but, yeah, this is weird. Versus Meng Huo in the southwest. That's supposed to be, under Liu Bei. But, whatever. There we go.
Looks like I bit off more than I could chew.
Okay.
Enemy officer defeated.
We have defeated the Non-Mon King Meng Huo and secured the lands of Non-Mon. The resources here shall increase the strength of Wu tremendously. We no longer need fear being attacked from behind. Finally, we can realize the dream of a land united under Wu. Shall our opponent be Cao Cao or Liu
Cao Cao.
It doesn't matter. Nobody can stop the crest of power which we now ride.
Having conquered the South, it was time to wholeheartedly engage the three-way struggle between us, Wei, and Shu. We decided to make our move with the capture of Jing.
This music sucks, but like I mentioned earlier, that first battle, I guess, was a placeholder for eliminating the bandit forces, which I think it would have been more important and interesting if we had done those battles instead, but I guess they're just not in the game. But, Cao Cao was funding some of the bandits in the land that, Sun Quan controlled. Found another cockroach. And, defeating Cao Cao's bandits, basically, was a big part of Lu Xun, entering service, because in that battle, he basically deceived the bandits into thinking that there was a much larger army force than was actually coming by, spreading out the banners, spreading out the war drums from over the hills and that kind of thing. So, using that kind of deception to win the battle is what helped him, move up in the first place. And then after that is Jing province.
Just then, Guan Yu advanced his army on Wei's Fan Castle. Taking advantage of this opportunity, I proposed to Lu Meng that we join forces with Wei to defeat Guan Yu. The mere presence of heroes is enough to alter the threads of fate. I must use all of my wisdom to defeat the god of war, Guan Yu, and lead the people towards a land ruled by the Sun family in Wu.
So like we know from the episode with Guan Yu, at Fan Castle, Guan Yu was just sieging it and eventually, couldn't take it, so he broke the siege and left, and then was ambushed by Wu forces. I guess in the game here, it's going to be a little bit different in that we actively join the battle and then capture and kill Guan Yu.
Lu Xun, your tactics are most interesting. If we win this battle here at Jing, Wu will be in a very strong position in its quest for the land. Guan Yu will underestimate our strength, focus his attack on Fan Castle. That's when we'll strike. The key to this battle is our alliance with Wei. Cao Ren is in charge of defending Fan Castle. If Guan Yu manages to defeat him, then we will have no choice but to retreat. You must go to Wei's assistance and rid us of Guan Yu once and for all.
So part of the reason why Jing was a little, back and forth is because I think I mentioned this in a previous episode again, probably Guan Yu's episode, but there were, it was supposed to be Wu's land, but then Liu Bei took it for himself instead, and then, they had to basically get strong-armed into a deal with Guan Yu, like, okay, we'll have Northern Jing, you'll have Southern Jing, that kind of thing, where all of it was supposed to be for Wu. So this is basically them getting revenge on Liu Bei and Guan Yu for that. In 219, Lu Meng came up with a plan to help Sun Quan seize control of Liu Bei's territories in Jing. He pretended to be sick and asked for permission to return to Jian to seek medical treatment. Sun Quan played along by pretending to approve his request. Lu Xun went to visit Lu Meng and said, Guan Yu is near the border. How can we remain far behind the border and not worry about having to guard against him? Lu Meng replied, what you said is true, but I'm seriously ill now. Lu Xun then said, Guan Yu is proud of his valor and he scorns others. He may have made great achievements, but he is overly conceited. Besides, he is heading north and he has never seen us as a threat. When he knows you're sick, he'll definitely lower his defenses. If we attack him when he lowers his guard, we can capture him. I came here to discuss with you a plan to attack him. Lu Meng replied, Guan Yu is known for his bravery and ferocity, and he's a formidable foe. Besides, he's in control of Jing. He governs with virtue and has made great accomplishments. While the morale of his army is at its peak, it won't be easy to defeat him.
What news, Lu Meng?
I've withdrawn the troops, as you suggested. This should do it.
His overconfidence will breed carelessness. While fighting the enemy, we can... Sir, is something wrong?
No. I was just thinking of what a fine strategist you've become. It is time! This army shall bring death to Guan Yu.
Your skills are impressive. Though I have failed as a warrior, this is a glorious end. Farewell. thank you.
And that's a lot of last words.
We defeated the god of war, Guan Yu. Everybody fought bravely and followed my orders perfectly. Thanks to this victory, we were able to secure the strategic point at Jing. Now we must strengthen our defenses at Jing. Prepare for Liu Bei, who will surely come seeking vengeance. Of course, we must keep our eye on Wei as well. Things are about to start getting a little busy.
So before the siege of Fang Castle, let's see, we were just talking about how before the battle Lu Meng was pretending to be sick, and actually was sick apparently, but I don't know, you know, Sun Tzu, art of deception, all that kind of things. But let's see, when Lu Meng arrived in Jian, Sun Quan asked him who can replace you. Lu Meng responded, Lu Xun is careful and thoughtful. He has the ability to shoulder this important responsibility. Based on my observations of him, I believe he is capable of taking up greater responsibilities in the future. So, that little aside they had before the battle even started of, you know, oh, you're a good strategist. Besides, he's relatively unknown, so Guan Yu won't be wary of him. This can't be better. If he's appointed, our enemies will be unaware of our intentions, while we can assess our strengths better and seek an opportunity to launch the attack. Then Sun Quan would promote Lu Xun. When Lu Xun arrived at Lu Kou to assume his new office, he wrote to Guan Yu to flatter him. Previously, I had the privilege of seeing you in action. You uphold good discipline in your army and achieve success with minimal effort. That is praiseworthy. Our enemy has been defeated. It is to our mutual benefit that we strengthen our alliance. Having received this piece of good news, I intend to pack up all my belongings and join you in striving to accomplish our Lord's common goals. I am unintelligent, but I have received orders to travel to the west and take up this responsibility. I hope to catch a glimpse of your glory and receive some good advice from you. Later, Guan Yu defeated Yu Jin at the Battle of Fancheng, Battle of Fang Castle, which we just did, and Lu Xun wrote a letter to Guan again to flatter him and put him off guard. Now that Yu Jin and others have been captured, everyone far and near rejoices, and your feat will be praised for generations. Neither Duke Wen of Jin's victory at Chengpu, nor Marquis of Huayin's strategy in conquering Zhou can be compared to your achievement. I heard that Zhu Huang and his forces are approaching and preparing for an offensive. Cao Cao is very cunning and his intentions are difficult to predict, which, that does indeed happen. Zhu Huang was the one to break the siege at Fang Castle. I am afraid he might secretly increase the number of troops in Zhu Huang's army to achieve his aim. Even though the enemy is weary, they still have some fighting spirit. Every time, after scoring a victory, there is a tendency for us to underestimate the enemy. The best military leaders in ancient times maintained their defenses even after they won battles. I hope that you can make grander plans to secure a total victory. But I am but a scholar, negligent and slow, and unworthy in many aspects. I am pleased to have a majestic and virtuous neighbor like you. I cannot contain my excitement. Even though we have not worked together yet, I always hope for such an opportunity. Then, upon receiving the letters, Guan Yu saw that Lu Xun showed humility and expressed his desire to rely on him, so he felt at ease and lowered his guard. When Lu Xun heard about it, he wrote a report to Sun Quan and provided crucial details on how to defeat Guan Yu. Sun Quan sent an army to invade Jing, with Lu Meng and Lu Xun leading the vanguard force, which is probably was either represented in this battle or might be represented in the next battle. Lu Meng employed infiltration tactics to disable watchtowers set up by Guan Yu, rendering them unable to warn Guan Yu about the advances, then swiftly conquered Guan Yu's key bases in Jing, Gong'an and Nan-Commandery, which again might be the next battle, so I'll stop there.
After defeating Guan Yu,
I really
things were
hate
just
his
starting
theme
for
music.
Meng, but he took ill and left this world. And there was so much more that I had hoped to learn from him. Based on a recommendation by Lu Meng, I was appointed to the role of commander. I have quite a legacy to fulfill, with Zhou Yu and Lu Meng having come before me. The responsibility is overwhelming. In my first battle as commander, I participated in the battle against Shu at Yiling. Certainly Master Zhuge Liang has some sort of ingenious plot waiting for us. We must go and crush them with all of our might.
Lu Xun. When Lu Meng died, he named you as his only possible successor. I hope you will agree to carry on his duties without delay. Liu Bei has prepared a massive army and is getting ready to surround and destroy us. We will use the fire attack that you propose to wipe them out as quickly as possible. I have entrusted the preparations to Zhu Ran. He has been ordered to use a bridge layer to reach the enemy camp and set it afire. As long as he is successful, we cannot fail.
Alright, so after Sun Quan invaded and pacified Jing, which again I assume is represented in that Siege of Fang Castle battle, they still had to pacify some of the nearby regions. So he sent his subordinates and led 3,000 troops to attack Liu Bei's officers Zhan Yan and Chen Fong. Led a naval force. Let's see, let's skip ahead a little bit. They captured the commandery in Nanjiang County and defeated the enemy Wen Bu and Deng Kai. Two influential men rallied thousands of local tribesmen to attack Lu Xun in the west. In response, Lu Xun sent Jie Jing to attack them. Wen Bu and Deng Kai were defeated and they were fled west. Of the campaigns in Jing, Lu Xun had killed, captured, or recruited tens of thousands of enemies. In recognition of Lu Xun's efforts, Sun Quan promoted him to Right Protector General who guards the west, and promoted him from a village marquis to a county marquis under the title Marquis of Lo. Sun Quan was very pleased with Lu Xun and wanted to specially honor him. However, even though Lu Xun already held the rank of general and a marquis title, he sought to go through the standard protocol of receiving a recommendation from the chief administrating officer in his home province. Hence, Sun Quan ordered Lu Fan, the governor of Yang, to backdate Lu Xun's service record by stating that he had previously employed Lu Xun as an aide-de-camp and recommended him as a Mao Cai. I don't know what that is. After that, the three kingdoms were formed. Cao Pi forced Emperor Jian to abdicate, ended the Han dynasty, and he declared himself emperor and established the state of Cao Wei to replace the Han dynasty. 2 years later, Liu Bei proclaimed himself emperor and established the state of Shu Han as the successor to the Han dynasty to challenge Cao Pi's legitimacy. Sun Quan agreed to submit to Cao Pi's rule and received the title of a vassal king of Wu. However, in late 222, he declared independence from Cao Wei, but retained his title, King of Wu. So therefore, the three kingdoms actually began. In early 222, this is probably the battle that we're going to be doing right now, Liu Bei personally led the Shu army to attack Sun Quan and retake his lost territories in southern Jing. Sun Quan appointed Lu Xun as Grand Chief Controller and put him in command of 50,000 troops to resist the enemy.
Lu Xun, the very future of Wu hangs on officers like yourself.
Lu Xun, I have faith in you. Unite this land under the name of Wu.
Zhou Yu, Lu Meng. I shall carry on. With your passion and your spirit.
Ah, it's the one with the maze. I hate this level. So in this battle too, part of the strategy for Zhuge Liang was to basically bait Wu into attacking them, and
Zhu Ran will need time to prepare the fire attack. We must do everything we can to hold the enemy at bay.
Lu Xun was the one who said, no, don't attack. It's clearly a trick. Now, I was watching a video recently, and apparently the little mooks, the peons, were a lot harder to kill in like Dynasty Warriors 2 and 3, which to me is like unimaginable, because in the later games, they just become like traffic cones to mow down, basically. Here we go.
The attack is ready. Fire! Now it begins. These fires shall light the road to victory in this battle.
So we all know that, you know, these battles don't actually take one evening, and that, you know, large sieges can take several months. So at this point, you know, in the actual battle, in the, you know,
Enemy officer defeated.
this stage of the war,
We'll get out of this maze and retreat.
what actually happened is, no, Wu was being sieged for about like 7 to 8 months at this point.
This is odd, but don't hold back. Keep moving.
And during that, Wu generals said we should have attacked Liu Bei in the initial stages. Now he advanced further, and we have been locked in a stalemate for 7 months. He has reinforced all his crucial positions, so even if we attack, it will yield nothing. Excuse me. Lu Xun replied, Liu Bei is cunning and experienced. In the initial stage, his army was very focused and its morale was very high, so we couldn't defeat them then. Now, however, since it has been quite some time, they are already weary, low on morale, and out of ideas. Now it is time for us to launch a multi-pronged assault on them. Lu Xun then targeted one enemy camp and attacked it, but failed to capture it. Wu officers complained, we're sacrificing our soldiers' lives for nothing. Lu Xun replied, I've devised a strategy for defeating the enemy. He then ordered his men to carry a pile of straw each and launch a fire attack on the enemy. Upon the commencement of the attack, Lu Xun led all the Wu units on an all-out assault of the Shu forces. The Shu generals Zhang Nan and Feng Ji, the tribal king Shamok, Liu Bei's ally, were killed in the battle, while the Wu forces destroyed over 40 Shu camps. And then, you know, we see the fire attack. There we go.
As long as the people are suffering, I shall fight for them.
Enemy officer defeated.
Alrighty. Wu officers began to show greater respect towards Lu Xun after the Wu victory.
We managed to destroy most of Shu's army. It is unfortunate that we allowed Liu Bei to escape. Oh well. He will not soon forget this defeat. However, the time for celebration of our victory is over. Even as we speak, the Wei army is preparing to attack us. We must get our army ready for battle as soon as possible.
Following the battle at Yiling, Liu Bei departed this world without realizing his dreams. I foresee the strength of Shu crumbling without its virtuous leader to hold things together.
After Liu Bei had retreated to Baidi Cheng, Zhu Shang, Pan Zhang, Sun Quan, and other Wu generals suggested to attack Baidi Cheng to capture Liu Bei. When Sun Quan asked for Lu Xun's opinion, Lu, along with Zhu Ran and Luo Tong, said that when Cao Pi amassed his forces and seemed like he was going to help Wu attack Shu, he was actually harboring sinister intentions, so they should be cautious, abandon their pursuit of Liu Bei, and return to Wu. Not long later, Cao Pi led the Wei armies to invade Wu from 3 directions. When Liu Bei heard of the Wei invasion of Wu, he still had his armies and scouts on and around the border. Zhuge Liang, Liang, some other people, even those who agreed with the campaign to reclaim Jing, insisted on renewing the alliance of Wu. With both Zhuge Jin and Lu Xun offering peace in letters because of the threat of a Wei invasion with Sun Quan's refusal to send his son as hostage, Liu finally agreed and wrote to Lu not only to renew the alliance, but coordinate an attack against Wei. The enemy, Wei, is at Jiangling now. If I launch another attack again, in your opinion, do you think I will succeed? Lu Xun replied, I am afraid your army has recently suffered defeats and has yet to recover. Now is the time for you to make reconciliations, rest, and recuperate. This is not the time for you to launch another attack again. However, if you do not consider carefully and plan to dispatch all your remaining forces on another attack, you will lose even more. Liu Bei died a year later and was succeeded by his son Liu Shan as the emperor of Shu. Zhuge Liang became Shu's head of government and made peace with Wu and re-established the Wu-Shu alliance against Wei. Sun Quan granted permission to Lu Xun to reply to Zhuge Liang on his behalf, and had duplicate of his own official seal made to send to Lu's office. Whenever Sun Quan wrote to Liu Shan and Zhuge Liang, he would allow Lu Xun to read the letters, make appropriate modifications, stamp his official seal on them, and have them delivered to Shu.
Shu is trapped, so our best move is to attack Wei. We shall go forth and strike the giant castle they built at Hefei and defeat Cao Pi. If the land is split in two between Wei and Wu, then it will be difficult for us to proceed. Now, while the land is still divided in three, is the time to defeat the looming threat of Wei.
At Castle of Hefei.
We are about to set out for an attack on Wei at Hefei. We have fought them many times since our victory at Chibi, but at last we have reached the final battle. The enemy is well defended. First, we will have to overtake and throw open the castle's outer gates. Then we will assault them from all directions, both land and water. I will lead this attack myself, as Wei is also commanded by its sovereign Cao Pi. This is no ordinary battle. The future of both kingdoms hangs in the balance.
It looks like we might be skipping a little bit of battles, but there was the Battle of Shiting, in which Sun Quan instructed Zhou Fang to pretend to defect to Cao Xiu and lure the Wei forces to attack Wu. Cao Xiu fell for the ruse and led his armies to attack the Wu garrison. Sun Quan granted Lu Xun a yellow ceremonial axe, appointed him as Grand Chief Controller again, and put him in command of 6 Wu armies and the Imperial Guards to resist the Wei invaders. He had the authority to act on Sun Quan's behalf. He even waved a ceremonial whip and ordered all his subjects to pay their respects to Lu Xun. He appointed Lu Xun as Senior General-in-Chief and Right Protector General. That year, in 229, Sun Quan embarked on an inspection tour of Jian in the east, leaving behind his crown prince Sun Dong and his other sons, and some high-ranking officials in charge of Wuchang. Lu Xun was instructed to assist Sun Dong and oversee all civil and military affairs in Jing, and 3 other commanderies. We'll skip this next part, which is just advising against a couple of campaigns. Here we go. The Xingyang campaign. In 234, when Sun Quan led a 100,000 strong army to attack the Wei fortress of Jincheng at Hefei, he ordered Lu Xun and Zhuge Jin to lead another 10,000 troops to attack the Wei city of Xiangyang. Lu Xun sent a close aide, Han Bian, to deliver a report to Sun Quan. On the journey back, Han Bian was captured. When Zhuge Jin received the news of Han Bian's capture, he became fearful, so he wrote to Lu Xun, "His Majesty has withdrawn his forces. The enemy has captured Han Bian, and they know our situation. The rivers have dried up, so we should make a hasty retreat." Lu Xun did not respond, and he instructed his men to plant turnips and peas while he played Wei Qi and other games with his officers, as though nothing had happened. Zhuge Jin said, "Boyan possesses intelligence and strategy. He knows what he's doing." He came to see Lu Xun, who told him, "The enemy knows that his majesty has withdrawn his forces, so they have no worries and will concentrate their attacks on us. Besides, they have already stationed troops at critical positions we are poised to strike. Hence we should remain composed and calm our men, after which we will have a change of plans and prepare to withdraw. If we display signs of retreat now, the enemy will think that we are afraid and will definitely attack us." Lu Xun then secretly conveyed his plan to Zhuge Jin and ordered him to supervise the fleet of vessels on which they would sail back to Wu. While he gathered his troops and headed toward Jiangyang, the Wei forces had been wary of Lu Xun all this time, so they immediately retreated back to the city when they saw Lu Xun's army approaching. Lu Xun organized his men in an orderly manner and instructed them to pretend to prepare for an attack on Jiangyang. By then, Zhuge Jin and the fleet had shown up, so Lu Xun and his forces progressively retreated to the vessels and left. Wei forces in Jiangyang did not dare make any move. So, they're not actually, Lu Xun is not actually at Hefei, but is instead attacking a different city. But because it's a video game, we're going to be attacking Hefei.
Cao Cao. Quite a castle you left behind. Are you still seeking revenge from beyond?
Truly a symbol of the times. But by the end of this battle, it will be reduced to rubble.
Let's go! Prepare to land!
Yeesh, that's a big ass castle.
So this is what death feels like. Enemy officer defeated!
Cao Cao's ambitions fell along with Hefei Castle. This was all thanks to everybody fighting hard and willing to give their lives in battle. We showed the land the strength of Wu's unity. Having defeated the giant Wei army, there are none left that can stop us. All that remains is to defeat Shu and realize our dreams of unification of the land.
So like I mentioned, before the battle even started, Lu Xun wasn't even at this battle. He was, in another attack. So when Sun Quan lost this battle and Lu Xun retreated, basically, for some reason, they decided to raid a random city in the countryside and captured and killed over 1,000 civilians, which is weird. And there's a cute little criticism section here. The historian Pei Songji, who annotated Lu Xun's biography, condemned the raid and said it was totally uncalled for, which, I mean, I don't know what they were going through at the time, but to just attack and kill a random civilian marketplace, that's kind of weird, Like, why would you just go and do that? This was a stark contrast to what Zhuge Liang and the Shu forces did during the battles around the Wei River. The rules of war had been violated, and such crimes will not go unpunished. Eastern Wu did not last beyond 3 generations and ended up being conquered in Sun Huao's time. Is this not retribution? In response to Lu Xun's act of kindness after the raid, Pei Zongxi remarked, "This is akin to saving one fledgling after destroying all the birds' nests in a forest. How can such simple acts of kindness ever compensate for the losses in a brutal massacre?" So, kind of out of character moment for Lu Xun to just kill random civilians. The later career, I don't think, let's see. Later in his career, it looks like a lot of what Lu Xun would do is suppress rebellions, stop bandits from raiding, continue to advise Sun Quan on the governance, but let's see, there was also a succession struggle after Sun Quan died, so, excuse me. Assuming we're going to have at least one more battle here with Lu Xun, this is pretty much where the story should end. I mean, yeah, we've only had 4 battles, so we're going to have at least one more.
We, the people of Wu, emerged victorious at the decisive battle at Hefei. The hero of chaos, Cao Cao, along with the army that he built to realize his ambitions, have disappeared for good.
Which is not historically accurate.
Finally, we have come to the final battle for the land against Shu. Even though the enemy is certain to be planning strategies against us, there is no way that they can stop us now. If we can win this battle, the chaos that has long plagued the land shall come to an end. For the sake of those people that shall follow us, we must not lose this battle.
We now stand before our last enemy, the Kingdom of Shu. They are commanded by Liu Chan, and the battlefield is Bai Di Castle. We must spare no expense to make this siege a success. Lu Xun, you and I will stay in the center and maintain a strong defense. A solid core is absolutely essential to support the wide attack formation we will need. Let us march. The land shall soon be ours. By the end of this day, we will be drinking wine and laughing among the ruined remains of the Shu Kingdom.
Get out of my way.
Now the three kingdoms divided by Zhuge Liang shall be as one!
Let's go! This has long been the dream of my family. Today it shall be realized.
Yeah. Hell of a cutscene right there. Watching that on a CRT back in the day. Yeah, this battle, I don't know if it is a complete fabrication or not, but I can tell you for sure that Lu Xun was definitely not here. There are a lot of things that the future games did right, and one of those things was like the gimmicks, because I don't even remember this from this game, you know, the Stone Sentinel Maze, but they really pumped that number, or they really did it justice in you know, like Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8. Made it a lot more fun.
My ambitions left unfulfilled.
Enemy officer defeated!
We captured Bai Di Castle and killed Liu Chan as well, bringing an end to Shu and its dreams of a land of virtue. Perhaps it was too great of an ideal to be realized. What the people want is to live a life of peace, and the Kingdom of Wu shall be able to give that life to them. We must work hard to create a land that would not be ridiculed by Cao Cao or Liu Bei.
It was during the final days of the year 200 AD when the Han Dynasty saw its end. Its demise ushered in a new era of chaos, brought on by several regional lords vying to rule China. There were those who sought absolute power, as well as those who fought for justice, and some simply fought for the sake of their beliefs. Many would rise and fall in their attempts to dominate the land. Lu Xun, from the Wu territory, born to a powerful family, he came to serve Wu and slowly proved himself by participating in many battles. It was Lu Meng who first noticed Lu Xun's potential and took him to Jing, only to discover the mighty Guan Yu awaiting them there. When Guan Yu attacked Cao Ren at Fan Castle in 209 AD, Lu Xun asked Lu Meng for permission to lead the attack. Lu Xun's strategy proved effective as he defeated Guan Yu. As a result, Sun Quan's trust in Lu Xun rose, and he promoted him following Lu Meng's death.
Yeah, very abridged, but that is kind of what happened.
Liu Bei came seeking vengeance for his lost brother, and together with Zhuge Liang, engaged Lu Xun at Yiling. Lu Xun claimed victory over the two, and the course of history took a surprising turn. Lu Xun decided to put an end to the chaos and mobilized his armies. He set out and defeated the huge armies of Wei and took control of Bai Di Castle, where he forced the heroes of Shu to surrender.
Which neither of those things happened, but for the game.
The lands came under the control of Wu, and the people could finally live in peace. Lu Xun continued to assist Sun Quan, serving him to maintain order, and was forever respected by the people. These tales, long forgotten in the flows of time, are about the legends of which no one can recall.
And this is something I learned recently. That's depending on what difficulty you play as in the story, that little ending phrase right there is different. So because we're playing on easy mode, it's like, yeah, but these legends nobody remembers. But if you play on hard mode, it's like, and these legends everyone remembers for all eternity. But yeah, that is, although the last 2 battles were fictional, it got a lot of things right for Lu Xun. And, you know, he didn't die gloriously in battle, and by the time he did die, you know, the kingdoms weren't even, you know, put together, that kind of thing. Just kind of became, you know, an administrator later in his career, eliminating Lu Xi, who was, you know, causing border disputes with Wu and Wei, suppressed rebellions in Wu, another incident with a dude named Lu Yi, who was the supervisor of the audit bureau. It's like, nobody cares about any of that. He was an administrator in the end of his life, it seems like, and apparently during the succession of, you know, Sun Quan giving his throne to his sons, with their offices now open, you know, there were a bunch of officials trying to promote their relatives, and he's like, oh, but if you promote via nepotism, your friends and family might not be competent for the job, and he got a lot of backlash for that. So, not really a very interesting way to go out, because apparently he died in March of 245 in anger and frustration from the succession of Sun Quan. When he died, because he was so thrifty in life, he left behind no wealth for his family. And the third Wu emperor, Sun Jiu, awarded Lu Xun the posthumous title Marquis Zhao, which literally means illustrious marquis. The succession struggle concluded 5 years after Lu Xun's death, with Sun Quan deposing his son Sun He and replacing him with Sun Liang, and forcing Sun Ba to commit suicide. Many officials who were involved in the conflict met with unhappy ends. In the winter of 251, about a year before his death, Sun Quan regretted what he did to Lu Xun when he was sending off Lu Xun's son Lu Kang back to Chaisang. With tears in his eyes, he told Lu Kang, "Previously, I believed slanderous rumors and failed to understand your father's well-meaning advice. I've let you down. I've burnt all the documents containing the allegations against your father so that nobody can ever see them." And such ends the life of Lu Xun. And now we can play as Lu Meng.
This land, it is forever changing. One day it will be gone, but that day is not today. With Cao Cao gone, and the 3 kingdoms united under the banner of Wu, our kingdom shall prevail!
And then, of course, in the book, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Lu Xun appears as a character. His most significant moment in the novel is a fictional encounter he had after the Battle of Zhaoting, which was the one with the maze. Which, it doesn't tell us what his moment was, just that, it was chapter 84 of the Sangyuan Yi, I think. Stone Sentinel Maze Lu Xun encounter. Stone Sentinel Maze was mentioned in chapter 84. Liu Bei was defeated by Lu Xun at the Battle of Zhaoting and fled towards Bai Dicheng. So that maze is supposed to be the Stone Sentinel Maze, but it seems like in the video game they just kind of threw it in at the end in this castle, when the maze in that other battle we had earlier was supposed to be the Stone Sentinel Maze. So the people who made this game kind of mixed it up a little bit. Lu Xun personally inspected the area and believed the maze was only a petty display of deception, so he led a few men inside. Just as he was about to leave, a strong gust of wind blew, dust storms overshadowed the sky, and rocks seemed like swords. Mountainous piles of dirt emerged, while the river waves sounded like an attacking army. Lu Xun exclaimed, "I've fallen into Zhuge Liang's trap!" and attempted to escape. No avail. Suddenly, he saw an old man who offered him assistance in exiting the labyrinth. Lu Xun followed him and got out of the maze unharmed. The old man identified himself as Huang Chengyan, Zhuge Liang's father-in-law. He explained to Lu Xun that the maze was a construct based on the Ba Gua concept. I don't know what that is. Huang Chenyang also told Lu Xun that Zhuge Liang had predicted that a Wu general would chance upon the maze when he first built it, and had asked him not to lead the general out when he fell into the trap. Lu Xun dismounted and thanked the man. When he returned to camp, he exclaimed that he was inferior to Zhuge Liang. He then made plans to return to Eastern Wu because he feared that their rival state Cao Wei might take advantage of the situation to attack Wu. No documentation of this event is found in the records of the Three Kingdoms, the authoritative historical texts for the history of the Three Kingdoms period. It was mentioned in Lu Xun's biography that after Liu Bei retreated to Bai Dicheng, the Wu generals and others felt that Liu Bei was within reach and they could capture him, which we already read earlier. So yeah, the Stone Sentinel Maze is a complete fabrication of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. And apparently, he met Zhuge Liang's father-in-law. Cool. But that'll be the end of this episode. And for the next episode, let's see, we started with Wei, then Shu, then Wu. So we're going to go back to Wei, and we're going to be playing as Zhu Shu. Giant of a man with freakish strength and size. Although a little dull, he fights with ferocity of a tiger on the battlefield. So that'll be the next person we play as. Not this Sunday because it's Easter, but next Thursday and, the next Sunday after. I'm going to be doing 2 episodes per week, so we can kind of get through the game a little bit quicker. We might even accelerate it to 3 episodes, depending on how many